I'll answer for him. He's doing great. He's doing great, and we are on Echo Isles for Game 1. Very excited for this. Wondering what Foggy is going to go into. Will it be a Warden? Will it be a Keeper of the Groove? Will it be a Demon Hunter? A lot of options for Foggy. A lot of options for KraV as well. Could be a fast expansion. He builds a Crypt Lord.
Against Night Elf, wow. And on the other side, we've got a Warden from Foggy. He's capable of playing any hero extremely well. Two players that I feel have prepared for this match incredible amounts. Like Foggy, we know that he likes to prepare a lot for any tournament that he enters. And on the other side, I've been talking to KraV. I've almost never heard him this motivated. And he's been practicing like crazy. And I feel like Crypt Lord against Night Elf, I mean, that this could be the first time that Foggy ever plays against this. Like, who goes Crypt Lord against Night Elf? KraV, apparently, is the only one.
I've only seen it once, and it was Hitman against Cruncher when they played random mirrors, and Cruncher got Undead, and he could only play Crypt Lord with Undead, so he did
it. Worked, right?
It did work. He went 2 Crypt Ghouls, but I'm assuming KraV has something better planned, and like you said, Foggy may have not practiced against this. He might be totally unprepared for this, and Warden, what are you going to be Shadow Striking? A Crypt Lord with 1,000 HP? It may not be that good.
Yeah, I mean, KraV is known for liking to expand a lot, so I'm sure that's what Foggy is anticipating, like his Wisp positioning should be on point. And also, like, playing Warden against an expansion, you know, we know that against Human, it means you can kill a lot of walkers. That also can be true against Undead. Double Sacrificial Skull was bought on that Crypt Lord, so he not only wants to set up the expo quickly, but if you're not being harassed at all, that means you have an extra Sacrificial Skull to maybe creep one of those bigger camps immediately after. But usually, I feel like we see Warden on Echo Isle, but sometimes we'll also see a Keeper, and a lot of the time a Night Elf will pressure an Undead, whereas Foggy here so far is playing very passive and instead creeping his hero.
Yeah, maybe expecting something a little different is Foggy, because he's not ready. He didn't even have that one of those wisps that you were talking about earlier at the expansion ready to, normally you'll detonate that Sacrificial Skull. That's why KraV prefers to get a second one, but as you pointed out, maybe he can just go and use it to creep the shop right away, because this expansion is going to be totally unharassed. Foggy's going to have level 3 Wardens soon enough, but the Crypt Lord is going to be on his side of the map, and if he doesn't have wisps at the ready, this is already a huge army for KraV.
Yeah, it is. This is crazy. I really didn't expect to see a Crypt Lord here against Night Elf. Like, this is the one matchup where, like, you never ever see it. It just feels like it's not viable because of wisps, because of a lot of reasons. Like, usually DK just feels like it's better. Occasionally you can go for a Lich first, but I mean, against somebody as good as Foggy, I'm not sure he would be able to ever pull that off. He buys Boots of Speed here for extra mobility, and he drops a replenishment potion, always nice to have against a Warden.
Yeah, pretty good. The boots will help against running away from that Warden, but the Impale is going to help in surrounding that Warden, and any little bit of mana you can drain is going to be great. Foggy blinks away and buys the Dust of Appearance, but is there...
Blink is on cooldown, and he stole the staff! Okay, Blink is almost there, so he should be able to get out. But KraV stole the staff. This is huge. I've mentioned it before. A Night Elf that goes Warden, or just in general, they love to have staff at this stage in the game.
Yeah, that's going to help out quite a bit. Not only in defending his own expansion, but, you know, not enabling Foggy to do that damage he wants to do with the Warden that is now level 3. And KraV actually going to steal the expansion of Foggy, which may help Foggy in the future when he walks down his Tree of Life that is now constructing at that mercenary camp. But I'm still going to get level 3 Crypt Lord. And I'm wondering what he's going to do, because you just imagine there's a Wisp at any point comes in and detonates all these beetles. That Warden is going to be getting up to level 5 in no time, especially with those ghoul kills. He's going to secure 1 right now. And actually gets the last hit on the Trapper. Yeah. Beautiful little creep jack there from Foggy.
And the target on that ghoul was perfect as well. It really made sure that KraV had no chance to deny that. It's going to get another ghoul. So Warden already level 3.5, or pretty close to it. Now bringing in some Wisps. Crypt Lord could be very dangerous later. Like, of course, the Warden is scary. Like, if she starts going for Acolytes all the time and killing them and, like, forcing you to maybe attack into you at a moment where you wouldn't want to attack. But I wonder what KraV goes for. Behind this, I've been hearing echoes of Necromancers against Night Elf doing some ravages. So I'm really curious if he might go for something like that. But yeah, if you think about it, Impale would be good against everything but Mountain Giants with upgrades and Dryads, but is that really the army you want to get against an Undead?
And if he wants to go for some sort of like a Necro Wagon play, you think it's counterintuitive because there's Wisps, but oh, that Impale was actually huge. Maybe he's going to get a couple of Priests here. That's a lot of experience for the Crypt Lord. But yeah, if he goes for this mass summon strategy, there's only so many Wisps, and if he's sending beetles into the main base periodically, which we may see him do right now, eventually Foggy's going to run out of these Lumber Wisps, but you can't get a Shredder, and if you're using them all for detonates, you're going to run out of steam as a Night Elf, especially with your only actual Dispel besides Wisps being single target.
And also, Impel can wreck those Wisps.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly. But yeah, we have the altar being remade now. You need that to start tier 3. If you're KraV, you need a second hero anyway, especially against that Warden doing a lot of damage to the Crypt Lord. So it's going to be a DK almost every time here. So Death Knight second, usually Lich third. And yeah, we have an extra Crypt. Graveyard as well on the way for the Undead player as Foggy's looking to set up that expansion. He's probably wondering to himself, like, what do I do against this? Foggy's scouting, though, one of the best in the biz. So I fully expect something to be sent to the main base. Oh my god, the Crypt Lord could be in trouble. Yeah, I fully expect either Wisp or the Warden to pop by the main base when tier 2 finishes for KraV, for Foggy to scout exactly what he's facing and adapt to it.
Yeah, there's so many options that KraV could be doing, especially behind this Crypt Lord. It looks like it may, well, I mean, I don't even know yet. It could be Fiends. It is Fiends coming out now. I was going to say it may even be Gargoyles. But it looks like it will be just Fiend Statue Destroyer, maybe, with Tri-Hero behind it. He does need to get that Death Knight out soon, because if not, the Warden's definitely going to kill that Crypt Lord in no time. He's got that staff, he's got the boots, but you can only run for so long against the Blink. But luckily for KraV, Foggy's out of mana, so no more harass to the ghouls or the economy. He's got to go back home and use some of that Moon Juice.
You know, Neo earlier referred to KraV's tweet where he asked Foggy if he was ready. He also made a follow-up to it later on where he was like, I'm gonna rewrite the ending of Harry Potter. So now, I have neither read the book nor watched the movie, but I'm gonna assume that Harry Potter did well and won in that movie at the end.
I think it's a very happy ending. Yeah, I'm not sure that's the ending that KraV wants.
DK halfway through done. It's gonna be important to start calling that Crypt Lord immediately. He already has double Glove of Haste, so eventually on the Lich that could be nice to have. And yeah, the Demon Hunter second means that you cannot go for something like, you know, a Naga or a Panda for AoE, but instead he wants to negate some of the stun and big damage from that Crypt Lord. Ooh, Ancient of War gets called out of position down there.
Yeah, that Ancient War is actually pretty important because you need to get this Demon Hunter up to level 3 if you're going to use it in this situation. It's a very crucial level. But yeah, I guess the Warden can just be used for economic damage. The Demon Hunter is going to be very useful in the fight, so there isn't any key impales. Shadow Strike on that Crypt Lord, but there's going to be plenty of coils all saved up for that Crypt Lord to heal him up. It might need to be a little bit careful, but I think he'll be fine. Big push and vulnerability goes, and the 12 o'clock is all Foggy's, and that's pretty nice for him to pick up that big consumable. It's going to be crucial to keep his heroes alive, especially once that Lich pops on tier 3 for KraV.
Yeah, that wasn't the best management, I think, here for KraV. He could have coiled that Magi, I think. And also, he didn't bring mana potions to the Crypt Lords. Or at least grabbing 1 or 2 on the DK, I think, would have been really nice. But yeah, triple Glove of Haste and Claws of Attack. Like that Lich is going to be a machine gun.
Did he buy one? I think he bought a single Gloves of Haste. Yeah, I guess he really likes the attack speed on his Lich. Yeah, but it is going to be a total beast, and he can even buy more items. Got 2 more slots available once that Lich comes out too. You can buy more claws, and if there is a mass of Dryads, if there is, you know, just bears on the ground, the Lich, you know, with those 3 Gloves of Haste is going to be a powerhouse against any unit really Foggy's going to build. Oh, another claw. Oh my god.
KraV is already making a Banshee, so this is another one of the things that I've heard about where, like, obviously he's not going Necromancers, we know that by now, but if you get a lot of Banshees and you can curse your opponent's army and also use Anti-Magic Shell, really negates so much of that damage that the Warden is looking to try and do against you. So in this case, Warden is 4 1/4 right now. Like, you can expect that by the time they start fighting, you know, it could be level 5. And usually there's going to be a retraining tome with Fan of Knives, so you can fully negate that effect between Unholy Aura replenishing hit points, statue, and the AMS available. So this is him trying to counter his opponent's hero here.
Yeah, that's going to be crucial. It's going to save him a lot of gold on heal scrolls in the future. And yeah, the curse is going to help out a bit too, because Foggy's going to have to respect that and really bring Wisps to the fight, because the Dryads aren't going to cut it if your whole army is cursed, and especially with these 2 agility heroes, the right clicks are really strong as well. So the curse, anti-magic shield, it's all going to be very nice. And even in the late game, stealing some of those bears, perhaps with possession, you can't complain about that. That is definitely a win condition for KraV in the later stages of the game. If he gets behind, steal 3-4 bears, you're good to go again.
KraV broke up keep very quickly, by the way, much quicker than Foggy. So this tells me he just wants to go for a timing there. He's going to try and get to 70, 80 supply and then just attack the expo of Foggy. And because he's spending all of his gold right now, he doesn't even have a town portal. That Lich inventory is going to be absurd. Triple Glover Face, double Claw, and the Orb as well. Like, it's going to hurt. That Lich is going to hurt a lot, even though it's only level 1 right now.
Yeah, it's got to stay alive, though. There is still Shadow Strike on the Warden and no level 2 Death Coil yet. KraV, I bet he would love to go to the bottom left and take that Turtle Camp. That would secure level 2 Death Coil, but he just wants to go right now. The aggression from KraV. Going with the level 1 Lich, going with the level 2 Death Knight. He gets 2 heal scrolls. And he's also going before he has anti-magic shell, I think. I only saw a single Banshee so far, so he's not going to have what he needs against this Warden quite yet, but there was no retrain. There is the level 2 mana burn, though, so maybe Foggy's ready for this timing, despite being a little bit down on supply.
I think he may be counting on Foggy to have broken upkeep very late, which you're supposed to do. Like, you want to break upkeep later than your opponent, for sure. And he's trying to catch him off guard right now, but Foggy now finally, you know, he's been producing more units. He's kind of caught up in supply, trying to look for one of those mana burns. Actually, they're completely out of mana right now. That Crit Lord forces a lot of detonates. Usually that's kind of encouraging for you to try and pull back after that, but it's mostly the Crit Lord that's lost all of his mana, and he does have a mana potion, so he will get 100 plus mana back if he used that for one more Impale, or at least one single Impale in the fight.
Yeah, and what's cool about that single mana pot is even if he gets mana burn, he's going to already have used all of his mana. He'll use the mana pot, one Impale off, and that's all he's going to get out of it. So, you know, it really helps against the mana burn to just have one of those potions. This Lich is doing so much work. Nice Wisp usage so far from Foggy, and nice poking and prodding, but the Demon Hunter, oh, nice staff. It had an invuln, but the stun would have been too long. But now a lot of the units are exposed. And there is still a slight supply lead for KraV, but still no level 2 Death Coil. But level 1 is enough to get the Troll Berserker, and that's a lot of experience. Now the expansion is exposed, but it looks like KraV wants more units.
Yeah, Death Coil level 2 now available. Abomination rejoins the fight. Disease Cloud is about to finish. That's going to be huge. If you can apply all that and touch every single one of those units here, it's going to be a lot of damage adding up over time. KraV with 70 supply. He's got a Ziggurat about to complete, so he can go straight to 80, whereas Foggy, he's trying to buy time, but it's so hard against this Undead army because of Unholy Aura catching up to you. And there's almost an Impale. Oof, okay, mana burns.
You got to be so careful with that Warden. If there's an Impale Coil Nova, it could be from full health to dead in no time. There is Invuln, there is Staff on both heroes as well. There is a Town Portal, but the Impale lasts quite a decent amount of time on the heroes, so this Warden is definitely the weak spot.
That's one way to put it, yeah. Uniter coming in, he's gonna get targeted down instantly. The big Invuln is huge to have on a Demon Hunter, but he's already not that healthy. Those Moonwells are really nice at the Expo, and now they finally got a bunch of juice backup. KraV only working with +1 attack right now, but he's finally queued the +2 as well. And Foggy's going on the chase now. He's feeling confident. He knows that some of these heroes are low on mana. He's going to catch one of those fiends. Nice dust to make sure he gets the kill. Criplot completely out of mana. Can that Lich do the carrying?
Oh, what a nice little hold there from Foggy. And now all of a sudden he's got 2 Mountain Giants. He picks off a Banshee, a Fiend, an Abomination. Has yet to really lose anything since he was back in his expansion. One Bear maybe going to go down, but is microed back to buy a lot of time. Goes down to the Destroyer. One Hippogriff in the air trying to deal with that Destroyer to give him back that Bear's life. A couple of Fiends falling. Invuln popped on the Warden, but now the Demon Hunter is the one being focused. Probably both Invulns going to be invested here, and then the heroes are really going to be exposed for Foggy.
Very clean micro from both players. Really going for the weakest units, the most fragile ones to get the kill on them. Staff is going to get the Warden out of there. Demon Hunter needs to be careful. He starts retreating early, but those webbed Hippos are going to fall. This is very important not to feed too much experience here by losing units. They're still kind of well even or evenly matched supply-wise, but the Warden needs to get back into the action. He has 1 Demon Hunter and 3 Giants right now. That's all he's got, and he's somehow chasing this Undead army away.
Yeah, where's all the supply? A couple of units in production, a Hippogriff, a Bear, and a Dryad for Foggy, whereas KraV is building 1 Abomination. And that Disease Cloud is going to be crucial, although he does have a single one with his army, 2 Fiends reinforcing as well as a Banshee. And that anti-magic shell has been very, very nice so far. If not, you know, one of these heroes definitely would have fallen for KraV. And it seems as though he only used, what, 1 heal scroll that fight, or did you use both and he just bought 2 heal scrolls right there?
Yeah, I think he used both.
Okay.
So now with KraV buying the two of them, that means that Foggy cannot have any himself. But then again, he's got giants. Does he really need health scrolls? Probably not.
Forces are under attack.
Maybe eventually to the Disease Cloud, but yeah, he's definitely going to need it against this Fan and Ives retrain. But Foggy, is he going to go into the main base?
He's getting unholy armor, KraV. He wants the Abrams to be a bit tankier.
This is somewhat useful against the right clicks, against the Dryads, but is there no town portal? There's no town portal for KraV, and you know, don't underestimate what 3 Mountain Giants can do with the sticks, and don't underestimate what the Warden can do against your Acolytes. And maybe a town portal is going to have to be picked up from the shop at the expansion, but just look at the Mountain Giants, how much work they do.
They're absolutely destroying this temple very, very quickly here. Foggy, once he has double staff as well, definitely one of the best staff players out there. So he can just start retreating staff, whatever is being targeted. He's trying to go for the main base in front of the undead army.
Really? I get it. He's going to lose. Actually, he has double staff, so maybe he's not going to lose anything, and all the Acolytes are going to die to the Warden. Is Foggy just going to right-click this? Are the trees going to run out in time? I think he's going to get the main, Todd. Okay, maybe not. Taunt used, 1 Mountain Giant about to fall. Okay, it was a null investment. Nicely done by KraV, nicely defended. A couple of buildings went down, decent amount of Acolytes went down, but you know, Foggy losing a Mountain Giant, losing a town portal, and I believe a bear as well for that.
Yeah, and he got 1 Dryad as well here at the end, did KraV. Every bit of experience counts a lot here. You need to be really careful not to throw away units easily. But Warden running back into the army here, looking to harass these Acolytes. I think KraV was looking to shop here again. He's back on 80 supply against 70. And his army is looking super scary.
There's so much upkeep for both players, and Echo Isles is one of those maps where you definitely can mine out both bases, and you know, they may be stuck on upkeep for a long time if they don't take some sort of a fight, but now KraV is the one knocking at the door. He's the one who wants to take down some of the buildings, trade them off. The Huntress Hall gonna fall, and that's where the 3rd armor upgrade is actually being researched for Foggy, so it would be a shame to lose that, but it would be a shame to lose all your Acolytes yet again, KraV. And the Warden's going to be able to get back. The Moonjuice is looking dry for Foggy, though. Maybe he can't hold this army. And we see his army, he's just going for a base trade.
Wow, because he has Mountain Giants, so he does a lot of siege damage. I mean, that main is still really badly injured. He's going to fall pretty quick. Does he go for a full-on base trade because he's not confident in taking on the army? That's very possible. This could go down to the last few buildings from each side. There is no town portal for KraV. I think Foggy knew that. And he's like, okay, well, you want a base trade, let's do it.
This is exactly what Foggy did to Happy, actually, on Echo Isles, if you remember that game.
Foggy could town portal if he wanted to, but I don't think he should against this army. Like, that's a very scary army from his opponents. This is crazy.
Foggy has a couple of wisps. 1 wisp in the middle, 1 wisp below the shop, and then of course a bunch at his expansion, as does KraV have some Acolytes at his expansion. They both have quite a few buildings at their naturals, but they're going to lose everything in their main base. That includes the tech, that includes the tech buildings, and that includes all the Ziggurats and the Moonwells, which are now being reproduced by Foggy. And that's going to be nice if he does decide to try to hold his expansion with all those Moonwells with a lot of juice. And it's a one base game. I'm wondering if it's even worth to rebuild those bases if they have the chance in the future. I don't know how much gold is in those mines. A couple thousand maybe.
Yeah, it could be. Cheap for undead, because the gold mine would be pretty cheap, but I guess he would have to make Acolytes as well. Going into this match, Foggy in tournaments, he's 7-0 against KraV, 11-1 in maps. Everybody would agree he was supposed to be the big favorite, but KraV really taking the fight to Foggy here in this map number 1. Still pretty close to 80 supply. We got 66 for Foggy, who's now raiding that expansion to Necropolis on the way. I can see in the production tab from KraV, looking to try and survive on his side of the map. Foggy's very good at base trading. We've seen him in the past win some crazy games.
It's a full base trade. They're going to the last building here. They are not going to fight, and KraV is nicely putting down those Necropolises at Foggy's old base. As you said, a couple of bears are now in the main base of KraV, going to deal with the rest of the buildings. And the Demon Hunter, I guess, has staffed back to deal with the Necropolis. There's stuff going on all over the map now. And they're both down to a pretty similar amount of buildings. The question is, can Foggy get any buildings up on KraV's side of the map?
I think Foggy just looked at that Leech inventory and is like, all right, I don't want that smoke. I'll take your buildings instead. I would not want to fight that Leech level 2, Carson.
Yeah, a little bit terrifying. Yeah, it's not even level 3 yet. It's about to be, though. A couple more units. Okay, there's a lot of wisps for Foggy.
Under attack.
He's engaging in the top right. No, yeah.
Oh my
Catches
god.
the Warden almost off guard. He caught everybody off guard, I think. Foggy thinks it's the last building, so he loses the Warden targeting the Necropolis, but there's another one right below this location. Does he even have a tree to trample onto?
Both heroes! Both heroes for Necropolis! Oh my god! It is a tree of life in the middle, but can the Mountain Giants just maybe march over? I think if KraV positions his army perfectly, there's no way the units can ever reach it. But yeah, Foggy goes for the gamble. But he was not born a gambling man, and it looks like KraV might take game one after this crazy base race. He's going to find the tree of life in the middle, it looks like.
Ooh. I think KraV has one building left, and he's moving out. I mean, one building on the right side. He's got a couple buildings in the main, but those are going to die. It's so dangerous, but I think Foggy was just lacking the firepower to take out those buildings fast enough. It looks like.
A beat wagon. Okay, Foggy has a decent amount of gold. He could rebuild another tree of life, and he does have a wisp by the mercenary camp on the right side, and still that wisp below the shop, as well as a couple others. So it is definitely going to come down to the last building. There's another tree of life, and that is the last remaining gold. He cannot build another building with what he has, and he's never going to get his heroes back at this point either. So that's it. If KraV finds those, it is over. But if Foggy somehow finds a way to this Necropolis on the right side, he can maybe win the game. But I think KraV could just block it with his army.
Yeah, he's supposed to camp there very carefully. I'm really surprised Foggy didn't hide a building in the bottom right-hand side of the map, even like a shop or an Ancient of War, because you can eat through trees and really conceal that very nicely. And yeah, I mean, that was a bit of an overly ambitious attack on that Necropolis. I think maybe he miscalculated that I don't know, he couldn't staff for a while. And with the Warden dying, then I meant that the Demon couldn't go anywhere as well after that. Yeah, KraV playing it safe. Honestly, I can't blame him. He could sell a lot of items here. There's no heroes to worry about. He could sell both scrolls, like send something to the merchants.
Yeah, maybe even get like a Nerubian or something next to them and just kind of chill. Maybe eventually even build a Haunted Gold Mine at the top right. I think it would be too risky to try to build it anywhere else currently and leave those buildings unattended. But, you know, he could get that 2,500 left in that top right gold mine and protect his buildings at the same time. I just don't see much of a way. Foggy's going to have to go all in on these buildings. With the trees for the Mountain Giants, you do get a little bit of range. So you can sort of hit over the units. But it's going to take a lot of damage to take down these buildings that are remaining.
Yeah. And there is Impale that can stun for some time. He's moving in with the units. Let's see. KraV is ready and in position. Can he do enough damage on those MGs here? The Necropolis at the bottom is taking some damage. But I don't know if it's enough. And I believe there might be an Acolyte repairing as well.
There is an Acolyte repairing. There's no more gold, though. If he cancels that Necropolis, he didn't actually cancel it. Okay, did get a bit of gold back. Oh my god, does Foggy have enough damage? The bear falls, the second Mountain Giant falls. Okay, no. Foggy, GG's out, leaves the game. That was close. Woo. That was close. Wow. Wow.
KraV is jamming, is feeling it right now. He's feeling great, taking out one of Europe's biggest names in map number 1 with a Crypt Lord against Night Elf. That's really not something we see very often, but he beautifully pulled it off.
Yeah, and I think we actually... Yeah, I forgot about the fact that was a Crypt Lord first, as we see KraV having a celebratory smoke on camera. Yeah, he went Crypt Lord against Night Elf, and it worked beautifully. Like, Foggy was never really in a position to take a fight. Like, he was the one that initiated that base race. He was the one that did not want to fight the army directly. It had a little bit to do with that Lich, of course, that was really strong. But yeah, that was a Crypt Lord first against Night Elf, and it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, I think KraV didn't just catch him off guard with the Crypt Lord. He also caught him off guard with that timing that he went for the expansion. Most players, they would just kind of sit back, creep a little bit more, get to 80 supply, then attack. I think that's what Foggy was counting on. But then suddenly, there was an undead player with a big army at his doorstep, and he wasn't ready just yet. And KraV looking incredible in game 1. The preparation's paying off so far.
Yeah, I knew this was going to be a crazy series because KraV against Night Elf always does different strategies, always does wacky strategies, lots of expansions, lots of, hit and run style from both players. I knew it was going to be crazy, but I didn't think it was going to come down to the last building on Echo Isles yet again, just like that Happy series that Foggy won recently. And I'm wondering what's going to happen in map 2. Is KraV going to go for the Crypt Lord yet again, or is he going to change it up? Is Foggy going to go with the Warden yet again? There's a lot of options, like, I would say 3-4 hero options for both players. And the book is really open.
I really hope that Foggy can stay focused after a game like this, because this is the kind of game that can very easily haunt you if you think about it too much, especially the way his two heroes died. I do think he would have had a much better shot with two of his heroes, not just for the physical damage, but for the utility of having them there. Like, he could have sold his TP, there was nothing to Town Portal 2 anyway, and he could have bought Protection Scroll, for example, you know, for his units to be a little bit more resistant. And we saw that Necropolis, like, he was the last one that was there. I don't think KraV could afford much more, like maybe a shop, but it would have been like very low hit points. And I think he was focusing on spending all his gold on repairing. And yeah, maybe with the heroes there and better synchronization, he might be able to eliminate KraV here. So this is a tough loss to take on this important a stage here in this tournament.
Yeah, I'm wondering, you said it may be getting to Foggy this sort of a loss, as well as all the smack talk on Twitter from KraV constantly. It might be getting to him doubly now that he's had that sort of a loss. But yeah, so much wasted potential with that double hero loss. I mean, Foggy, it seemed like he really did think that was the last building on that side of the map. Of course, his units were cleaning up the buildings on the left side of the map. He thought that Necropolis was the only remaining building on the right side, so he commits his heroes. But yeah, with double preservation, double staff of teleportation, potential to sell items, like you say, and he had lots of wisps left, so he could have built more buildings around the map, and the heroes could have just staffed each other out and just attack that building, you know, 1 chip damage, 2 chip damage, staff out, go back in, and you can play the really long con, which is a little bit lame. It may have taken a few hours, but you can really win with the potential of those heroes. But when you have just units, just mountain giants, just bears, all you could do is just, I'm going to right-click the Necropolis and hope it works. And KraV, had the perfect play against that.
Yeah, I'm just surprised Foggy didn't hide any trees anywhere. It definitely feels like if you do that very well, it's so hard for the undead to move out, because then you're exposed to getting eliminated in an instant with your last few buildings on your side of the map. I mentioned it, like Foggy's experience with this kind of base trades, but maybe it didn't look so convincing here, the way this was going. Again, I think in the bottom right, you should definitely have 1 building, maybe 1 in the bottom left. You make it so hard for the undead to send something there to get rid of that. Because if he sends very little, you can get rid of those units. If he sends too much, then maybe either you take the fight with only half of his army, or you go for the counter-aggression and maybe eliminate him. So, yeah, not the most convincing of base trades from Foggy, but maybe he had a completely different game in his mind going into this series. I don't think he expected Criplord particularly, but maybe he did.
Yeah, he must have been preparing, I imagine, for lots of gargoyles. Probably still a fast expansion, but you know, gargoyles is much more of a long con plan, whereas this Criplord style is, I'm going to hit, you know, a 12, 11-minute timing with 70 to 80 supply, similar to almost what we saw Infi doing earlier against Moon on Last Refuge, when he went for that double barracks rifles, did a big timing on the expansion, just tried to have a lot of units very early on, and that's sort of what we're seeing KraV do with this Criplord, and I really doubt that Foggy was prepared for that. Probably practicing against gargoyles, practicing against Death Knight first, Lich first, stuff like that. And a curveball is the perfect thing against a player like Foggy. Like the desk pointed out that Foggy's very much like Moon in that he prepares specific strategies for specific players. And if you throw him a curveball, I'm sure you know this from your days of competing, like if you throw someone a curveball after they've prepared for something completely different, you're going to be shocked in the first 5 minutes of the game, and you're going to be thinking, what am I supposed to do to beat this guy for the rest of the series?
Yeah, so it's really smart from KraV in that way to have played the way it did. Even though his tech was scouted, I'd still believe he caught Foggy a little bit off guard with the timing that he went for. I was shocked myself. I was so sure he was going to go for that extra camp in the bottom left. He was like, no, I've broken up keep quickly. I'm mining less than you right now. I need to go for the attack. You're not going to be ready just yet. Maybe Giants won't be online just yet either, and that's when you can win this game. And he was correct. He did a lot of damage, sniped units, forced Moonwells to be empty very early on, and was able to secure a very convincing Game 1 win here.
Yeah, and again, the question is, what is he going to do Game 2? Another curveball? Criplord again? I mean, he does love his Criplord in every matchup, and it's not supposed to work against Night Elf, but just like Kiwikaki in North America has proven, if you like a hero, if you like the Farseer for Kiwikaki, you want to play it against every race, you can play it against every race, and maybe that's what KraV is doing with the Criplord. And it looks like map 2 is going to be Concealed Hill. What are you thinking about this for this matchup?
Ooh, some potential gargoyles to maybe creep the fountains. Expanding is a little bit harder, and I feel like Foggy might be playing a little bit more aggressive to try and make sure that KraV cannot set up an expansion easily, because we saw what happened last game if that can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The fast expansion for either player is going to be very difficult, of course, and the gargoyles on one base even for KraV is going to be a big potential with those fountains, like you point out, with the potential to snipe the red camps. Yeah, it's a very different map, I would say, for this sort of a matchup. It's you know, a comfort pick for some players because you could sort of force it to a one base situation.
Very different looks on those cameras. Up until a second ago, KraV was still jamming to some music. Whereas Foggy is not jamming. He's not jamming at all right now.
Very, very serious. Brain working overtime. He's trying to figure out what's going on. And now we're going to try to figure out what they're going to do in Game 2 as we go to Concealed Hill. Can Foggy do it? Can he tie up the series? Or is KraV going to 2-0 the favorite of the entire group?
Looks like a Keeper of the Grove is going to be the opener here for Foggy this time around against the Crypt Lord again from KraV. He's trying it out again. And you have to think this is going to be an expansion no matter what here. So Foggy, how ready does he get for this on this map? Like I said, not as easy as on Echo Eye to creep the expansion. If there is multiple wisps in position, you get those detonates off. It really can mess up the Undead game plan of taking that expansion quickly.
Yeah, I think that may be something that Foggy was missing early on, was those aggressive wisps against the expansion attempt. Although hard to do on Echo Isles, he should definitely think about doing it on Concealed Hill. And with the Keeper of the Grove, you can go into this mass archer style with constant pressure against the expansion, similar to what we were seeing X-Lord try to do against Vortex. He goes Death Knight, he plays one base, he tries to pressure the Crypt Lord. You can do this with Keeper. You can get a Naga on tier 2, Alchemist on tier 2, and just continuously pressure the expansion. And Concealed Hill is a good map for this because, as we're talking about, the expansion's hard to creep.
Yeah, I wonder if KraV maybe does something a little different. It feels like it's a little safer on this map. Like creeping the expansion directly is almost out of the question. It's just quite hard to creep, even if you can do it. Like, you would take a lot of damage on a lot of your units, so it's better to creep a little bit before that. He might do 2 small green camp first and foremost to gain some level, and then go to the expansion. But yeah, when a Keeper and Wisps plus an Archer or multiple Archers are in your face, you can start losing units very quickly. And we had KraV pick up a Circlet of Nobility, whereas Foggy got the traditional ring.
Yeah, probably the best item for KraV. You always want a little bit more mana on that Crypt Lord as he starts with a very low mana pool in the ring. Not going to be what Foggy was looking for, but the level 2 was what he was looking for, and he's going to get that. Ancient War coming up aggressively. So 2 Ancient War Huntresses. This is some sort of an all-in. This seems like a pretty decent response to the Crypt Lord. If you have Wisps in position to detonate the summons, what is the Crypt Lord going to do against some sort of a hunt all-in with APs potentially?
Yeah, Foggy's trying to hard counter KraV right now. He's so certain that there's going to be an expansion. He's saying, all right, I'm just going to go double Enchant of War, mass hunts. He scouts the main base and sees the tech. Oh my god, KraV. Again, surprising. It's almost too obvious that he was going to go for the Expo. He probably thought that Foggy was going to be completely ready for it. Guess what? Foggy was, and now Foggy cancelled that second Enchant of War that was on the left-hand side, realizing that there was a tech. Imagine if KraV cancels the tech and expands.
Oh my god, the mind games. I think it's getting to Foggy, man. I mean, how often does he get outsmarted in Europe? Like, he's one of the most strategical, most smart, prepared players in all of Europe, and right now KraV is making him look a fool. But the Keeper of the Grove is still in position to do some damage to the ghouls. There is, of course, no coil, no aura, so if there's an entangle, could be a 1-for-1 ghoul kill to entangle ratio, but right now, KraV just fishing for surrounds, and he could definitely get it with that Impale. Plenty of mana on that Crypt Lord.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, this is super smart, getting the staff and harassing the way Foggy is. If he was to get impaled and surrounded, he could always staff out of there. The only chance you have at forcing a Town Portal is if you get the surround without the impale, which against Foggy should be borderline impossible. So he's just working on his level, creeping small camps that's been forced by Foggy. He's gonna force the staff.
Staff into the Huntress, but there's another Impale, and the staff is on cooldown now, so you got to be careful if you're Foggy and you're taking a lot of damage. Although smart of Foggy to stick around the fountain so he doesn't have to waste too much Moon Juice, but the Huntress gets surrounded. No Dust of Appearance, though, for KraV. Maybe a slight mistake. Yeah. And the Wisp coming in for Foggy. Ooh, could be a big detonate, but it's actually not that juicy, but definitely still worth the detonate.
And by the way, Hawk is up 1-0 against Blades.
Wow.
Kind of surprising. Blades is really an absolute beast in Human Mirror. That's going on Back to Warcraft if you guys want to check that game out. But yeah, KraV, he's kind of salvaged the situation by creeping some small camp. Foggy also doing the best that he can with killing a few units. Keeper getting closer and closer to level 3 here. KraV, you can't be losing this unit. At the bare minimum, you need to deny that ghoul, and he's not.
Yeah, it was that 2-3 ghouls going down, I think, just to get that small crab camp. And now, again, he's committing in for the shop, but it's only one ghoul here, mostly just doing it with summons, so not overly risky for KraV. Oh, the priest. Okay, does go to KraV. That's going to give him the level 3, and the keeper is still stuck on 2 for now. One ghoul going to be traded. A lot of ghouls, to be fair, have gone down.
Yeah.
Foggy has yet to lose anything. He's just detonated, I think, 1 wisp so far.
And the first gargoyles are already in production, as well as the +1. So KraV, Crypt Lord into gargoyles. I gotta say, I never thought I'd be seeing this build order ever, but on this map, very easy to creep the fountains, or at least the Drake at the fountain with the gargoyles, much like old days Plunder Island. And I think that's what KraV wants to aim for, and potentially, or eventually go for an expansion of his own. Whereas Foggy on the other side, he loves to do this when he goes keeper. He drops the tree of life very far away from the expo, so it's safer, like towards the main base. He gets Nature's Blessing shortly after he gets tier 2, and then he'll walk that tree at the speed of light to the expansion to secure it. It's super fast, Carson.
Yeah, that's a great plan too, because it enables you to never forget that Nature's Blessing, which also, of course, helps the treants for the Keeper of the Grove. Gives them movement speed, gives them armor, and sometimes players just forget it. So to put the Tree of Life there, not only is it safer, but you're saying to yourself, I'm not going to forget Nature's Blessing this game. Which happens to me. It might not happen to Foggy too much. Alchemist second, and the Huntresses are soon to be totally hard countered, but they're definitely good for creeping in the meantime.
Yeah, there it is, Nature's Blessing. Finally queued for Foggy, queues a shop as well. KraV on the other side, not the healthiest Crypt Lords. But I guess there's not much that can threaten him for now. Went for another Impel. That's very costly, you know, Impel. You use it like that just to force a staff. I'm not sure that's completely worth it. Foggy catching, like, what is this Archer even doing here? Like, how is this happening right now? He had an Archer ambush towards the main base that he staffed to kill another ghoul.
Yeah, the Archer was actually a 1 HP shadow melded there at the north of the map for pretty much the entire early game. And now, okay, it looks like KraV has taken the fountain, but he's going to lose at least 3 ghouls, it looks like, for this. So a nice little run by Foggy. Going to give up a red camp, but you're always going to give up at least 1 red camp if the undead commits to Garg. So I think, you know, Foggy's totally happy with this trade. Is that a 4th ghoul he just got?
Yeah, ghouls are an extinct species in this game, it looks like. Kept going down the whole time. He has non-mining lumber right now. KraV, at least he's got a little bit saved up from before that. And Crypt Lord now level 4. Does he go for the other fountain? He must know that there's going to be an expansion down there, so maybe looking to try and re-pressure. And this time we don't have a Demon Hunter second for mana burn on the Crypt Lord, so he's going to have some nice impels to work with. But the Alchemist, you always go Healing Spray, at least as your second spell here, or usually you'll main that one on level 3 as well, so you can out-heal a lot of that damage technically.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the Alchemist as well is you can always hit air and do a lot of damage to the air. If you can't get that orb early, as we see Foggy wants to commit to that Nature's Blessing, that expansion, and, you know, Mass Dryads early on, so he's not going to have tier 3 for orb if he were to go for a Demon Hunter. So it's nice to have a little bit more anti-air in the way of a second hero that can attack air. Beetle going to scout the main base. I do believe KraV got a full scout there, and he is going for that second fountain. From the first one, he got the Robe of the Magi, so he's going to look for a nicer item here. Maybe Bone Chimes, True Shot Aura. All the auras are pretty good here.
Yeah. Sure, let's see what he gets.
Oh yeah, probably the best.
Yeah, a little bit of extra armor. Always nice to have for your army. Like the bigger army you get as well, the more impactful it can feel, because it affects so many different units. And a Protector going up on the other side for Foggy, so wanting to make sure he's a little bit extra safer against those gargoyles, which can kill wisps very easily, and then you have no lumber and just cascades out of control from there.
Keeper yet again going into the base to kill these ghouls that just came out of the crypt. They just got mining again. He just said, I'm going to get lumber. It's never going to be a problem again. I'm even going to overproduce lumber ghouls. And Foggy just says, nope. He goes into the base. He's going to kill all of them with a tangle again. And that's going to give the Keeper probably close to level 4. But actually, the ghouls strike back. They're defending themselves. And at the end of the day, I think only maybe 1 went down. So not too badly defended by KraV.
He's trying to catch some of these units here.
Player's forces
He's
are
being
under
outrun
attack.
by these Huntresses. I guess that's the good thing about not going Archers there, is that he can actually escape. Archers would have been trapped, fought, and killed most likely on that side of the map. But yeah, heroes almost 4 on the Keeper. We got level 3 on the Alchemist, and actually he went for Acid Bomb level 2. So not looking to play with that Healing Spray level 2 here. He wants to prioritize a little bit the damage more, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose it's not a bad idea because the Gargs do clump and there is Fountains, but oh my god, the Keeper of the Grove is gonna almost go down. Gets out with 48 hit points. The Coil Nova Impale is so strong, but now the Death Knight taking a lot of damage from the creeps, has to be careful, but he can go to one of these Fountains he's already cleared out. Does have a Potion of Greater Heal as well, but that was a close call on that Keeper, and now Foggy's gonna have to respect that nuke for the rest of the game.
Town is under siege.
Yeah, not the best item in center, but it does have some utility here to have that. You can definitely give the Robe of Magi to the Lich for extra damage. Might keep it on the Crypt Lord technically for the extra mana that you get. I mean, look at that mana pool. Like 500 against no Demon Hunter. Like, this is the dream. If he gets Impale level 3 eventually, which should be the goal, that could be crazy.
That's so much mana, actually, and he got all 3 red camps, too, so well-deserved having 555 mana on that Crypt Lord. Soon to be level 5 as well. Level 3 Impale will be nice, but once the Dryads get up in numbers, neither the Beetles nor the Impale will be too effective, but for now, it'll be really nice against the heroes, of course. The guard count is rising, but it's only at 8, surprisingly, not the biggest of armies.
Ooh, he's gonna go for the Keeper. I already knew it's one of the squishiest things in this army. There's a staff available. He's gonna use that on time here. Will Foggy to get out of there. Death Knight being targeted, but he has a great healing still available. This might be a bad time for Foggy to fight.
Yeah, he would have lost that Keeper there if it weren't for staffing while the Coil was mid-air there. Although it was level 1 Coil, maybe he gets out regardless. But yeah, Foggy, that's going to be the name of the game for KraV at this point. He's going to focus that Keeper every time he gets the chance, and Foggy can afford a Town Portal because he does have that expansion running this whole time, but he can't just keep doing that over and over again. Yeah. He does have to get some unit kills eventually, and if KraV just keeps diving for the heroes, keeps creeping everything on the map like he has been, it doesn't even matter if Foggy has an expansion.
KraV has so much magic damage and nuke, so he can kill everything very quickly except the Dryads, but then that's where the Gargoyles come in and potentially kill those Dryads. Look at this. They're gonna fall very fast, and now the staff. Foggy's trying to retain as many units as he can. He's got Tree of Eternity about to complete here, and which will mean that he can get an orb on his Keeper. Very important against this type of army. He's re-expanding. That's how confident he is that he will be able to hold this attack.
Yeah, maybe just a Lightning Rod that expansion can serve as, so the expansions to the heroes to the Dryads aren't as exposed as they are currently, but it is going to get cancelled regardless. The Wisp actually not focused down. Did Foggy just immediately put it down again? No, that was an Ancient Protector that he built just to save the Wisp. Now Foggy is marching up the map. There's a couple of creep camps in the top left that maybe there could be some fight worth having over them. But the shop is still there. KraV would actually love to get that level 5 Crypt Lord. That level 3 Impale is going to melt that Keeper of the Grove.
Yeah, you can land it on a lot of units. I think that's part of why Foggy has gone for so many Dryads as well. He doesn't want whatever he makes to be stunned for a very long time. He's stealing the expansion creep away from KraV right in front of him. This is pretty gutsy, but very important to take that experience away. And also gain it for yourself here. I mean, Keeper is getting closer and closer to level 4 here, so soon he's going to have level 2 Treants to work with.
That's going to help out quite a bit. The double level 4 on both of the heroes is going to be great, but it's the same for KraV as well. Getting 3-3 on that Death Knight, the Lich is going to be great. Impale, nice, and the Dryads are just kind of standing there. Will they die 1-1 by those Gargoyles? And I think so far a pretty good trade for KraV, all things considered. And this is an expansion from Foggy too, and he just doesn't have the army to fight ever, it seems like.
Yeah, that was a little bit overly ambitious to try and fight right there. Demon Hunter 3rd. This is something we've been seeing more and more, but there's no creeps left almost, except maybe the laboratory. I'm not even sure all the creeps are there. He's gonna kill one of his own Huntresses, wants to get back down below 50 supply. Foggy, the thing that he has going for him is that he's got the expansion up. He knows there is no expo yet from KraV, so I was expecting him to save a bit of gold, but he's on 51 supply, which makes me feel very uncomfortable right now.
Yeah, and he doesn't have much lumber either. Yeah, exactly. He's got to detonate 1 Wisp, but his lumber's not great. Okay, he spends some gold and a Boneyard and a couple of Ziggurat's going up for KraV, so it looks like he's going to bank for a little while, then do maybe an all-in push against this expansion, because he's just kind of chilling in his base. He's crept everything. Does he wait for a Frostworm, wait for a couple more Gargs, and then just all in?
It looks like he might. KraV taking it slow right now. He's saving a bit of gold. He sold some of the items that he found, whatever he thought he didn't need. Did keep the Robe of Magi and the Devotion. These are too good to be sold.
Beetles are going to feed a lot of experience in the long run. That Demon Hunter, as you pointed out, not going to have much to creep. The lab is where Foggy is going to right now.
Player's forces
forgot
The
to
whole
level
lab is there.
Yeah, that's level 4 from that Beetle.
Oh, is that right? That's actually really nice for scouting. And if he wants to go back into the main base, potentially, say KraV goes for an all-in against the expansion, going for some sort of a run-by with a Keeper with a Staff of Teleportation could be great to pick off some Acolytes while KraV is marching across the map. But KraV is going to do the same to Foggy, look to pick off some Wisps. And there's no Shredder, but he could buy one now that he's crept out that lab.
Foggy is being observed. There's a shade stalking him and seeing his every movement right now. And KraV still hasn't broken upkeep. 49 supply out of 70, so this indicates, you know, he's got about 20 supply free that he can make. He might be waiting for a bit of extra gold. He gets an extra Acolyte. So it looks like he might just want to expand here. He was probably weighing his options. He just seized up the army size of Foggy, and he was like, okay, well, by the time I attack, he might have 80, so it would be too risky to go for the attack. So instead, might play a bit more defensive and then force Foggy to attack it. Great revelation here by Foggy, anticipating there was a shade. I think he saw the movement of the Gargs and the army, and he was like, it looks like you always know where I am. So a great read from the Ukrainian Night Elf here.
Yeah, he also saw the sack pit in the main base, and then he also saw the movement of the Garg, so yeah, really, really nice call. A couple of Wisps are going to fall, and these are well upgraded gargoyles, so one wave of attacks is going to kill any Wisp, and they're probably going to kill any Dryad as well. There is a Scout going to the expansion. Oh, an Ancient of War. That's a pretty good response to a potential expansion for KraV, as the Acolyte has yet to move over. First Frostworm out, but it is scouted by Foggy, so I imagine Foggy's just going to completely commit into Dryads, and that's all he really needs, I think.
It looks like Hawk lost game 2, by the way, so we're all tied up between Hawk and Blades on the B stream. Back to Warcraft. Bidu and Hitman holding the fort over there. But yeah, Foggy in this game, I think when you know that you have such an earlier expansion than the opponent, now it's just about getting the right composition to fight the opponent. Having seen the Sacrificial Pit, you know that there is potential for a Frostworm. So it does feel like you have to get a lot of anti-air, but you also can't just, you know, go Dryads technically, can you? Like, he's getting a lot of upgrades. You want to mix in any ground against these heroes?
Yeah, maybe. I think Mountain Giants are really your only options. I don't know if Bears are going to be good against this potential nuke. There's soon to be a level 3 Lich once they take, you know, one more fight. I think, you know, a couple of Mountain Giants would be great to mix up the Gargs to get them off of the Dryads. But other than that, I really don't see much else Foggy can go for. And of course, being a big fan of Moon, I'm sure Foggy likes just building Dryads, honestly.
Ooh, that Frostworm looking scary. 3-2 upgrades. That does a lot of damage. Like when,
Yeah.
when you have a Frostworm 3 and 2, it's not every day you get to see this. But KraV is one of those big fans of the Frostworm. He might just try and get to 80 himself eventually and then go for the attack, but of course Foggy is already saving gold, so he could break that 80 supply and go into high upkeep at some point. And yeah, still using some dust. He wants to make sure there is no shade on top of him.
A town is
Yeah, he might have to go into high upkeep if he gives KraV any more time, because these Gargs are looking spooky. What I'd love to see KraV do is not just focus all these Gargs onto one Dryad at the same time. He's got 14 Gargs with +3 attack. He needs to split these 7 and 7, attack 2 Dryads at the same time. If not, you're just overkilling every single Dryad, and that is, I think, the key to success if you are going to take a head-to-head fight. The Ancient Protector is not looking so scary anymore. It was when there was only 5 Gargs in the air, but now KraV is ready to fight. He's down by 10 supply, but he may be in a decent position. He's got the hero levels, and he's got the upgrades, and now he's going to have the expansion as soon as the Acolyte moves over.
Has a protection scroll. He has 3 healing scrolls to work with here. And right now he's probably trying to decide whether he should expand or whether he should fight. Is that just above? It should be Trance, I guess, that he's chasing for a little bit of extra experience. That Lich is almost level 3.
Yeah. Crucial experience. Although, is the Lich in range to get it? Where is the Lich right now? He's lagging behind, so he's not actually going to get the experience from these treants. A little bit unfortunate, but there's going to be a fight sooner rather than later, I'd feel like, because Foggy does not want to let KraV get an expansion. He's barely kept up, being 2-base this entire game pretty much, so certainly you don't want to let the Undead get an expo here.
And Foggy is probably thinking right now, should I engage? When should I engage? He's waiting for an extra upgrade at least. You want to go into high upkeep? I mean, it's very risky, right? When you go into high upkeep, usually you need to fight shortly after, because you're mining very little. You're getting taxed a lot of that gold that you're mining from your bases. And I don't think he can wait for too long if he does that, but he's... Okay, that's it. 85 supply. Foggy's breaking upkeep. He's adding 2 more Dryads, so it's just going to be a Dryad fest. It's so many of them. He's going to have 3-2 upgrades. And he's going to try to deal with this air army with this. KraV gets on top of the army almost as if he anticipated that the...
Oh my god.
He snipes the Demon Hunter at the start of the fight. That's no more mana burn. So of course Impel doesn't work on Dryads, but it's going to work on those heroes.
The Frostworm is staying alive thanks to that coil. Oh, and there's just a town portal out. Foggy says, I don't want this smoke, and he's 85 supplied. He town portals out against KraV, who's only 58. The expansion's going to come up, and Foggy just needed a little bit more time. He was preparing for that fight. You could see him waiting in the wings. He broke to high upkeep. He wanted a couple more Dryads. He wanted to be in a better position. He's going to cancel that Haunted Goldmine, maybe. Okay, he does cancel it. So close to KraV saving that Haunted Goldmine, and remember, he's got no economy. It looks like in his, or maybe KraV's main base hasn't run out yet. He must have lost some acolytes earlier. He's got a little bit of gold, it looks like.
And Foggy's already moving his main tree to the center, by the way. Very important to be able to keep on mining from more bases than the opponents. Wait, he moved out. Okay, Demon Hunter is back finally. Alchemy is going to get targeted. He has an evil. He's going to use that before he finally stabs this out. Dryad's taking a lot of damage here. There's going to be an Impel available in a second. Does he want to target heroes? No, he's working on all of those Dryads right now. And he targets the Alchemist at the same time. And it goes down.
Oh my god, the hero focus is absolutely insane from KraV, but does he have enough Gargs at the end of the day? These Dryads can kite the heroes all day. If the Gargs go down, the last ghouls are gonna fall. They've had a rough game so far, but the Dryads have taken a lot of damage. Can the heroes just do it themselves? The Demon Hunter gonna come in from the back for the mana burn. Gets impaled. Is there a Nova? Is there a coil? Looks like there's no coil. There is an invuln, but the staff is even better. Now the Deathlite's on the menu, and there's an invuln in his inventory, but he doesn't want to pop it now because there's no gold remaining for KraV. He's got 150 left, and his main base is ran out. He's gonna have to unsummon buildings now.
Demon Hunter was on strike for a second. He goes for the Keeper before the Demon Hunter is back to help out. Oh my god, the invuln at the last second. Dryads falling left and right. DK is still very low, but Keeper is out of there as he had no hit points. Those Dryads, they're doing what they can. There is almost no more gargoyles here for KraV, and he never restarted the expansion.
Is under siege.
Oh my god, and now Foggy takes the middle. There's a Garg trying to cancel the gold mine. He can do that indefinitely if he has... Okay, he does have a Frostworm there, so he can kind of do that. The heroes are really strong for KraV, and the heroes can deal with the Dryads. But yeah, he's never going to be able to get up a Haunted Gold Mine, and Foggy's expansion is going to mine for, I would say, at least another 5 minutes in the bottom right.
Yeah. I think KraV really needed to restart that expansion. Maybe he made a few units too many. He might have to sell one of his items and restart the expo. Unless he wants to go all in, just bring all the acolytes, bring all the ghouls that you have at home, anything that you have, and throw the kitchen sink, the undead sink, at the Night Elf here to try and come back in this game.
And the heroes are very exposed. We see 2 anti-magic potions. There's, you know, there's no destroyers, so no chance of devouring that. But that's just how badly Foggy wants to keep these heroes alive. KraV has been so nice at finding the weaknesses, and the weaknesses have always been the heroes. The Demon Hunter, we can see it getting focused right away. Is there a coil? No, there is a staff. Foggy very on point here, not bringing his Keeper any further forward. But there's a coil, there's a Nova, and there's soon to be an Impale. This is KraV's only way. He's got to get a hero kill here soon.
Remember that when he staffs to the center, because that's where the main tree was moved. So the Demon actually came back even quicker, but didn't have time to heal with the Moonwell, so he's missing a little bit of hit points. But yeah, those undead heroes, not so much mana to work with right now. And also, like, no prospect of expanding anytime soon. I think KraV needs to unsummon some stuff. Probably the Boneyard, maybe the Sack Pit as well. He's not doing anything with the acolytes that he has in the main base, I believe.
Yeah, I think they've just been chilling. It looks like his main base. Okay, it looks like he now may be unsummoning some stuff, but this is 72 against 38 supply. It's a miracle that KraV is still in the game. He's about to be level 6 Crypt Lord, which actually might not be too bad if he can get the mana for the ultimate against the Dryads. It might be pretty good, actually.
Yeah, but he has no statue, because he played the multiple crit style. It feels like this Frostworm cost him the game. He just made 2 of them kind of blind, and Foggy's strategic decision of going for pure Dryads was like very, very smart against this.
Yeah, he could have maybe
made a couple bears.
Gargs.
Imagine if he made 3 bears.
It would have been a huge mistake because
Yeah.
he already went high upkeep and then he's investing like so much
Player's
dud
forces
supply
are under
against double
attack.
Frostworm. Yeah, like maybe just pure guard the whole time. Like you can obviously go into Meatwagon A-Bomb if you're trying to hard counter the Dryads, but it takes a lot of commitment and it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of economy on one base. Maybe he just goes 80 supply guards if possible, KraV.
Yeah, that would just have been a different tech with Slaughterhouse,
Yeah.
which he didn't want to go for. All right, he's going to throw everything he's got at Foggy with one last-ditch attempt. Acolytes moving out. Criplord very close to level 6 here. Replenished a little bit of the hit points. He even bought double scroll and a mana potion. This is it here. KraV, can he do this? It's now or never. He cannot wait.
A lot of Dryads in the front, taking a lot of damage. One Impale going on the Alchemist, and one Bear that's going to die immediately. Not actually stacked out. There's the level 6. There's the ultimate. Locust Swarm is going to deal with these Dryads pretty decently, actually. The Death Knight taking a lot of damage. Does not have Death Pact. Invuln using the Demon Hunter that is now level 3. A lot of Dryads taking a lot of damage. Heal Scroll used. Frostworm goes down, but the Mana Birds are so good, and it seems like Foggy may just have enough here.
Death Knight in danger. He tried to go for the Keeper for a second, but then retargets whatever he can. There is just too much. And Foggy will get the equalizer here against a KraV who keeps on playing Criplord first. Great strategic decision of going for pure Dryads. But it was hard fought in any case.
Yeah, what a series so far. Wow, these two games have gone, you know, essentially to there being no main bases left for either player. Foggy walked his, KraV unsigned his, and in the first game it was just we saw what happened there, just a total annihilation of both the main bases. And you know, still it was cribbed from KraV, but it was a different style with gargoyles, and they worked out. He got all 3 red camps, just maybe kind of a wacky transition, maybe a little not sure of what he wanted to do in that mid game. We were talking about, is he going to go for an expansion, is he not? And then he just goes for Frostworms and tries to go for an X, but a weird timing, so maybe some indecision.
And KraV is not jamming anymore, I think. He's thinking about this game. What went wrong? Probably thinking maybe I shouldn't have made those 2 Frostworm. Just making one would have been way better already, but yeah, making 2 Frostworm against 0 Bears and no actual ground army other than Tri-Hero that can get stuff that have Invulns. It just wasn't the ideal scenario, and this 3-hit cancel on the expansion was huge, by the way, because if that goes up, then KraV is still mining the whole time, and then he's still able to maybe come back in this game.
Yeah, that was really nice from Foggy, and that's where the Keeper hero levels really come into play. He has got that amount of treants from those level 2 treants, and he's just able to send them over and cancel. And if he only had a couple there, 2 instead of 3, then maybe he doesn't get that gold mine cancel.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether he sticks to a Criplord play here or if he does something different again. I really like the adjustment of KraV to say, I'm opening Criplord, he's going to see it. He's for sure going to think that I'm going to fast expand, so I'm not going to fast expand. Foggy, we saw he was trying to hard counter that build. I really think that if KraV had gone for fast expansion, that double Ancient of War, mass tier 1, Ancient Protector push would have killed KraV. It's so hard to hold, especially if you go for something like a Keeper. So, great decision. Great decision by KraV to make changes on the fly like this. It feels like he was adapting the whole game, really. That Frostworm decision, I think, cost him a lot there. Other than that, the execution was pretty good. And it would have been interesting to see how this game would go down if he had been able to expo, but Foggy was already taking the center anyway, and like it would have been impossible to move away from there with his superior economy.
For the third map, we have Twisted Meadows, and this is, you can see a lot of strategies on this map, Todd. Whole lot of them.
Yeah, we saw actually Lowlight earlier play Demon Hunter first, whereas like it's usually a map where you would see a lot of Warden. Knowing that, the Undeads usually play very aggressive, they scout a lot for that Ancient of War creeping. So there's all of these mind games going into it. You can get different positions, which can also affect the game quite a bit. And yeah, I mean, it's not a bad map to go Gargoyles, to maybe expand on the islands, to to open up with a fast expand if you can as well. You know, I'm just saying, I'm throwing that out there. KraV still likes to expand and go Gargoyles, so why not do both of them at once on one of the best maps for it, potentially?
Yeah, we've seen some epic games, some of the most epic games of all time on this map, in this matchup. Island expansions all over the place. You know, the Undead gets all of the islands, and the Night Elf gets all of the ground expansions. And will we have it this game? Game 3. This has been a nail-biter And KraV was not even supposed to really have a chance against the favorite in this group, but he's showing up to play. He's bringing something new to the table, and he's looking to take down Foggy. And this would be quite a good win for KraV here.
Two very well contested matchups here in Group B, as Blades is still 1-1 with Hawk. That last game being played on Back to Warcraft right now on Amazonia. But we're here on Twisted Meadows. In the bottom right, we've got KraV, the French undead player. Crypt Lord aficionado. Let's see in a second if he still wants to go for that. Yes, there it is again. So that's definitely what he's practiced on pretty much every map. Really pushing Foggy out of his comfort zone here in this series so far, and he's had a mixed success. Like for sure, that first game he did really well. That second one, it did look like maybe he was gonna have a shot, but then eventually Foggy able to hold in the big fight on the left-hand side. And now we're gonna have Foggy open up with a Warden, very standard on this map. A pretty safe orange camp towards the center. That's because he's not close to a mercenary camp. But what we've seen in the past or recently with Warden play and Ancient of War creeping is that you can eat through those trees here, just right behind these crypts, and move on to the next camp, the mercenary camp, to creep that pretty quickly. And because KraV is playing with the Crypt Lords, he's not going to have a Death Knight available to harass against this, which ideally, you know, you'd like to have some ghoul around, maybe a Death Knight to really prevent the Warden from creeping easily. I hear you, yes. Alright, the Warden going straight for that camp here, whereas on the other side, the Crypt Lord just finished. He sold his town portal, and he bought double Sacrificial Skull. Welcome back, Carson.
Thank you, thank you. It looks like we have
a bit more human.
Was I a little robotic there for a bit? I mean, Western Canada, pretty far away from you guys over there, so, you know, sometimes a little bit laggy, sometimes a little not, and hopefully not for the rest of the game. But yeah, double Sac Skull, going for the immediate expansion. We could have what we were hoping for at this kind of super late game style. It really depends how Foggy wants to play this early game.
Yeah, looks like he's trying to play aggressive against the Crypt Lords. The split is going to be good from KraV, send some of these summons back, but the entire light will get removed away here with the detonation from the Wizard. Oh my god, the Crypt Lord is taking a lot of damage. There's going to be a next Shadow Strike in a second. Warden getting back on top of the Crypts instead. I was sure he was going to just chase that Crypt Lord and try and kill it. Yeah, there you go, one Shadow Strike for you. Can he get the last hit? Foggy gets it! Oh, this is huge because level 2 from the Crypt Lord will give him back some extra hit points. Blinks to get another goal. That Warden is all over the place right now.
After such a close game 1 and 2, now Foggy is dominating. Is there a Wisp going in to get all those summons? This would be incredible. Another ghoul gonna go down. Look at the Crypt Lord's health. Oh my god.
It's a good item for health here.
Yeah, he does. He needs something.
It's a miracle.
Claws +9, not quite a miracle, but he gets the level up, gets the extra health. But Foggy's putting in work right now, Todd.
Yeah, and he's going second Ancient of War here and Ultra Vision, so it's looking like he wants to do maybe the same push that we thought he was going to do last game. As this time he's pretty convinced there's going to be a big push. He's creeping the mercenary camp already with just the units that he's got there. That's going to be Warden level 3 and potential very big items to help him out. Like I don't think anything will be bad here because he's going Mastia 1, so even like something like Scroller Beast would be really good to find.
Yeah, Wand of Mana Stealing is always great against Crypt Lord too because such a low mana pool, and Greater Heal is nice as well. We saw how that Hero Focus came into play last game, and the Warden is also very squishy too. Mantle of Intelligence going to help out as well. Yeah, this is beautiful creeping from Foggy. He's going to get to level 3. He's got the Mercenaries. The second Ancient War is going to come up soon. And KraV is committing to the expansion because I think there's some sunk cost fallacy going on, but he's going to probably die to these Huntresses. I don't know if he can hold this expansion.
It's going to be really hard when there's Ancient Protectors, Glaive Throwers, potentially sieging one of your bases, and you're only working with ghouls. It's very, very tough to hold on against this kind of attack, so I'm not sure KraV has scouted much here. Ideally, he should have sent something towards the main base, seen that Foggy's still on tier 1, and then anticipate the attack. But for now, he's just trying to creep, getting more units, producing ghouls. There is no sign of any tech just yet, like he wants to saturate the expansion first and foremost, and he's still looking for one of those good items here.
Oh no, level 2 Shadow Strike. There's no town portal, Todd. There's no town portal. Blanket. I think that's a dead lord, not a Crypt Lord anymore. Look at all the ghouls, they're so low. Oh my god, and the army's coming in, and then the expansion's going to be exposed, and game 3 is just a walkover. Foggy takes it 2-1 after such a neck-and-neck series. That's what we get game 3. Incredible.